Okay, we're gonna show you, I'm gonna show you, I thought I should do a little video of how we're hanging this wallpaper. So when we got, you know, your first panel on, or we've done a few ways now, this is how we measure it. You line up the pattern here, and then I'll show you what he's gonna do. He gets it to where he wants it, gives himself a little extra room, and then he comes up underneath here and he kind of pushes it up there so it creases, and then he kind of knows where he's gonna cut. Will you leave it up there for a second? I'm gonna show him something. When you are measuring for wallpaper, we did not account for, it's about a foot down here that you lose on each piece, because we're only doing what, 1/3 of the wall, would you say, Matt? So you're gonna lose a foot of wallpaper on each piece because you have to line up the pattern. So just account for that when you are ordering, because now we have to order 2 more rolls. So, okay, and then I'll show you what we do. Once he knows where he's gonna cut, we set out a long table, and I'll kind of go through the tools we have used. We lay the paper upside down here on the table, and here is his crease. That's the crease he made so that he knows where he wants to go, and then he goes a little above that just so he gives himself enough room. This level, I will link this in the blog post, and below, has been amazing. It works for we've used it for a few things, and I'll show you what. Well, we used it, yeah, okay. So then just use a razor. You need a sharp razor blade. And then cut that. And then we just filled, there's a clear tray in here, so there's no paint in it. We just put water in a tray, got a clean roller, and we're just rolling the water onto the back of the wallpaper to get the glue activated. And you don't want it soaked, but you don't want it super dry either. So it's kind of in between. You want to make sure you get it covered really well in the corners and along all of the edges. So then the corners and the edges obviously stick. We got the wallpaper from Spoonflower. This is our first time wallpapering. We've never done it before. So we have learned a lot of things. And like I said, Matt's laughing. And like I said, we're only doing the top half of her room. So once you get it all, I usually help, but I'm trying to film here. Once you get it all wet, then you're gonna fold it on itself. This is called bookmarking. You will fold it on itself. So then the glue, this activates the glue, I guess. You wet it down, and then doing this activates the glue. So we just do both sides like this. And with your wallpaper, one thing that it said in the directions, and one thing we kind of learned, which was you want to make sure you know which side, which side is, or which end is top and bottom. But as you go around, I feel like we got a little more, Matt, don't you kind of learn the pattern?
Yeah.
So it's not like I mean, at first we were laying down, you know, this is the bottom, make sure it stays this way. But then as you kind of go around, depending on the pattern you get, I guess, you kind of learn the pattern, and you know which part is up and which part is down. You're supposed to let this sit like 3 to 5 minutes, 2 to 4 minutes. I feel like when we first started, we let it sit a little too long. So, you ready? Okay, so what they suggest to do is first open the top layer, and then they suggest to leave this on until you get to the wall, And maybe that would work if you're doing the entire wall, but we have been letting it go down and then, because it's just easier to maneuver that way. And so now at this point, I'm usually up there helping Matt, so I'll see if I can try and film and do this at the same time. I brought a little bench in here. So he's just gonna line up. I'm just holding it. It is a 2-person job. So I hold this away from the wall. Is that
up higher.
I need to lift it higher and I'm too short.
Then grab lower.
I know, but then that falls on you. Okay.
Just grab lower a little bit.
Okay.
There you go. Now lift it up a little bit. There you go.
So anyway, he is just lining up the pattern. I can't really. Right along the seam. You kind of overlap it 3/4 of an inch. Am I not helping? Sorry. So this just takes a little maneuvering and.
Can you pull?
Yep.
Right there.
Okay. So we're just still lining it up. I'm sure some patterns are easier than others, but, and then you just kind of, I'll step down here. You just kind of smooth it out. We got a big sponge to work with to smooth it out. And then we were in the beginning, like I said, using this to kind of get the edges right up to the ceiling and right down to the ledge. And then Matt got this because he felt like it worked better. He found that this kind of worked better and I'll show you why here in a minute. The finagling and trying to get everything in the right place and get this it takes a minute. And then when you get all the bubbles out, it's real thick paper. So my mom used to do wallpapering and she said she couldn't, when she saw this wallpaper, she couldn't believe how thick it was. I don't know where she is. She should have been doing this with us. But she kind of came halfway through and she said we were doing a good job and she kind of gave us some pointers and you want to use that level and show them how you use that and then, or do you need the sponge first? Okay, so this level, we were using it like this to kind of push that edge in. He's gonna cut off the excess here. It says to wait and cut the excess off, not this, but like trimming this excess off when everything is fully dry. And that's because like when you use a razor on wet paper, it just tears it. So, but this kind of, we were using that to shove the paper back. If you can see, can you move there? Shove the paper back here. That was working good. And then is that a putty knife, Matt? Yeah. That putty knife, once he got that too, he'll kind of show you. You use a damp sponge just to kind of smooth it all out. Again, you don't want it soaked and saturated, just damp. Look, I love how it looks in her room. It's really made a huge difference. Paint is a lot easier. This is our first time doing this. To be honest, would I do it again? I would. What?
Better than stenciling.
It's better than stenciling, yes. We did a stenciled wall in our bedroom, just on one wall, and he said this is better than stenciling, but not better than paint, obviously. But I would want to do this again, I know, in a heartbeat, but depending on what the wall is, Matt's like, I hope you don't, but depending on where the wall is and how much I wanted, we might pay to get it done. I don't know. But Matt, aren't you a DIYer? Okay, and so now he's using that putty knife just to get there and like to push it up in the ceiling. We have popcorn ceilings we hate them, but we're not gonna go through the hassle of scraping them in the big mess. But it's gonna be not a fun job to, you know, trim all that. But I think once it's dry, it'll be a lot better and a lot easier. Not to make you dizzy. We started in this corner. That's all excess up there we have to cut off. We started in this corner and we kind of came around here a little bit. But we started in that corner and then went this way. Now we're gonna see if we can find a piece to go over there. But her room is coming along. I'm just so mad now I have to wait for some more rolls of wallpaper so we can finish this job. But it is so cute. I can't wait to get it done. I can't wait to get her new bedding. We're gonna get a new rug. I love the wallpaper. I would do it again in a heartbeat. I would have it again in a heartbeat in our house. I just don't know if we would do it again. Okay. I think did I share all the tips, Matt, that we had? I think so. If not, check the blog post. I will put all the details and everything in there, of course, but I think it's fun to try a new DIY project, something new, learn what we like and don't like. It's definitely doable. It's a 2-person job. And look at it. It's super cute.